Hello everyone, welcome to Arpita Sharma classes. I am Arpita Sharma, your educator, and today we are going to start with lesson number 3, the part number 3 on chapter 1, that is historical background of the constitution. So we have covered so far two parts of chapter 1. This is the third and the last part of chapter 1. Then the entire chapter 1 will be completed. Okay. So after completing chapter 1, we'll be heading towards the next chapter, making of the constitution. That's another important topic that we have to cover. The class PDF will be uploaded now because we have completed one chapter. So the entire class PDF will be uploaded on our Telegram channel, that is Simplifying UPSC with Ease. You can download the class PDF from there. And also, before we move forward, this is a bilingual class. That means both Hindi and English will be used in this lecture. Okay, दोनों English Hindi use होगा इसमें. And if you have 5th edition of M. Lakshmikant or if you have 6th edition, it doesn't matter. 5th edition will also do. Okay, ऐसा कुछ खास improvement नहीं हुआ है. 5th edition भी अगर आपके पास है तो वो भी काफी ठीक है. Okay, let's start with the lecture. शुरू करते हैं अपनी क्लास के साथ. Also make sure that you are taking notes simultaneously in the class. Okay, class में simultaneous notes लेते रहिएगा. That is beneficial for you. Now before we start, let us revise what we have studied so far. Right, अभी तक हमने क्या पढ़ लिया है वो देख लेते हैं. So far we have studied the Regulating Act of 1773. Now Regulating Act was passed to control and regulate the affairs of. So when we talk about Regulating Act 1773, we know that here in the Regulating Act, the Governor of Bengal was नाउ द गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल. जो गवर्नर थे बंगाल के अब वो गवर्नर जनरल हो गए थे. एंड द फर्स्ट गवर्नर जनरल वाज लॉर्ड वॉरेन हेस्टिंग्स. एंड दिस एक्ट basically understood the British government understood now the East India Company is not just a trading company. East India Company can be a administrative company also in order to administer India on the behalf of the British Crown, right? So this was the intention. So Regulating Act laid the foundations of central administration in India, and here we got the Court of Directors. Now what was the duty of Court of Directors? The duty was to report to the British Crown about the revenue, military and civil affairs of East India Company in India. भारत में ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी का क्या रेवेन्यू अफेयर्स थे, क्या मिलिट्री अफेयर्स थे, क्या वो सिविल काम कर रहे थे, उन सभी काम उस सभी वर्क को उन सभी अफेयर्स को रिपोर्ट करना ब्रिटिश क्राउन को, वो ड्यूटी थी कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स की. एंड ऑल्सो द कंपनी वॉज टोल्ड दैट नाउ यू कैन नॉट रिसीव एनी गिफ्ट और ब्राइब फ्रॉम द नेटिव्स, इंडियन नेटिव्स. अब इंडियन से आप किसी तरीके का ब्राइब, किसी तरीके की घूस या गिफ्ट नहीं एक्सेप्ट कर सकते. ऑल्सो वी गॉट द सुप्रीम कोर्ट एट कैलकटा एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन 1774. ओके, तो इसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी एस्टैब्लिश हुआ. गवर्नर को गवर्नर जनरल बना दिया गया बंगाल का. बॉम्बे एंड मद्रास के गवर्नर जनरल्स को अधीन कर दिया गया गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल के. Okay, now there were some loopholes in the Regulating Act of 1773. What were the loopholes? The loopholes were that now the East India Company servants were under dual control of Supreme Court and Governor General of Bengal. Right? तो दो control जब आ जाते हैं तो confusion हो जाता है. Right? So this was the loophole, and to amend this we had the Amending Act of 1781. इसको rectify करने के लिए this fault was company servants were under dual control of Governor General and Supreme Court. So to rectify it, Supreme Court's jurisdiction was limited to Calcutta under the Declaratory Act of 1781, or we can call it Amending Act or Act of Settlement. Okay, and company servants जो थे उनको Supreme Court के jurisdiction से बाहर निकाल दिया गया. Revenue collectors and जमींदार को Supreme Court के jurisdiction से बाहर निकाल दिया गया. Now the Mohammedan cases were covered by the Mohammedan laws. Hindu cases were dealt by the Hindu laws. And Governor General's Council was empowered to act as a court of record. Okay, so that means you can say the powers of Governor Generals were increased. Then we got the Pitt's India Act of 1784. Now Pitt's India Act, why it is named that Pitt India? Pitts means William Pitt, who was Britain's Prime Minister, who proposed this act. So this was the first time that the company's territories were called British possessions in India under Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act के तहत कंपनी की टेरिटरीज को, जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की टेरिटरीज थी भारत में, उसको ब्रिटिश पोसेशन के नाम से जाना जाने लगा. एंड दिस एक्ट एस्टैब्लिश्ड डबल गवर्नमेंट. व्हाट इज डबल गवर्नमेंट? वी हैड द कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स एंड वी हैड द बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल. हमारे पास कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स भी थे, बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल भी थे. कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स वे वर मैनेजिंग द कमर्शियल अफेयर्स, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स वर मैनेजिंग द सिविल एंड मिलिट्री अफेयर्स, द पॉलिटिकल अफेयर्स. ओके, एंड ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट हैड द सुप्रीम अथॉरिटी ओवर ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनीज अफेयर्स इन इंडिया. ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जो कुछ भी भारत में कर रही थी उसके ऊपर सुप्रीम कंट्रोल किसके पास था? ब्रिटिश क्राउन के पास. ओके, Then we had the Charter Acts. Now there were three Charter Acts, 1813, 1833 and 1853. 1833 and 1853 के ज़्यादा important है. Charter Act 1833, here Governor General of Bengal was now the Governor General of India, and first Governor General of India was Lord Bentinck. He had the civil and military power. And earlier laws were known as regulations, but after Charter Acts were passed, the laws were known as acts. Okay, and East India Company was no longer a commercial body. Now it completely got transformed into an administrative body. Okay, देन यहाँ पर हमने पढ़ा चार्टर एक्ट 1853. आगे बढ़ने से पहले एक छोटी सी अनाउंसमेंट है आप लोगों के लिए. आई हैव अ स्मॉल अनाउंसमेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू. सी अनअकैडमी हैज लॉन्च्ड यूपीएससी सीएसई मेगा सब्सक्रिप्शन ऑफर, एंड अंडर दिस मेगा सब्सक्रिप्शन ऑफर which is valid till April 28, 2021, you are going to get guaranteed subscription of 1 year valid till July 2022 and second 2 year valid till July 2023. So if you take a 1 year subscription today, that means मान लीजिए आप आज लेते हो 7th April 2021 को 1 year subscription, usually normally it will be valid till 7 April 2022, but under this subscription offer your subscription will be valid till, that means you can access your classes till 31st July 2022 or prelims 2022, whichever is later. That means if prelims is conducted in June, your subscription will be valid till 31st July. If prelims is conducted in, let's say it is postponed, it is conducted in October, your subscription will be valid till your prelims. Okay, जब तक आपका prelims नहीं हो जाता subscription valid रहेगा. मान लो prelims पहले हो गया 31 जुलाई से, तो subscription 31 जुलाई तक valid रहेगा. Same thing applies to if you take your 2-year subscription. ठीक है. So here, this is the offer that Unacademy Plus is providing to all its students. If you're interested, you can, access this offer. The links are given below in the description box. You can also use code ARPITA10 to get 10% discount on your Plus subscription. आप अपने Plus के subscription पर 10% का discount भी ले सकते हो अगर आप code use करते हो ARPITA10. So this offer is valid only till April 28. So make sure that you take your subscription today. जल्दी से आज के आज subscription ले लीजिए. Okay, now coming on to Charter Act 1853. So Charter Act 1853, here the Macaulay Committee was established in this act in 1854. Why? To select and to recruit the civil servants. Indians को अब इसमें participate करने का मौका दे दिया गया civil services में. ठीक है, Indians were also given the place in civil services, and for that purpose Macaulay Committee was established. Plus this particular act separated legislative and executive functions of Governor General, and because of this separation we got Indian Legislative Council, which was also known as Central Legislative Council, which acted as a mini parliament. Okay, point clear? So it introduced, you can say, the system of local representation. Local representation means now from Madras, Agra, Bombay and Bengal, the Indians can participate in the Indian Legislative Council. Okay, that was Charter Act. So basically you can say Indian representation started in Charter Act. Then we have the Act of Good Government of India, which is a part of Crown Rule. Crown Rule started from 1858 after the revolt of 1857 ended. So the Act of Good Government of India, also known as Government of India Act 1858, it ended the system of double government. That means the Board of Control and Court of Directors were abolished. पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट में हमने पढ़ा था ना, बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल और कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स को स्टैब्लिश किया गया था, वो सिस्टम को खत्म कर दिया गया. एंड हियर वी गॉट आवर वाइसरॉय. गवर्नर जनरल्स पोजीशन वाज removed. Viceroy, first Viceroy was Lord Canning, and there was a new office which is the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State was supported and aided by Executive Council of 15 members. इसका chairman थे Secretary of State. Okay, so complete authority of all the Indian administration was in the hands of Secretary of State. Then we have the Indian Councils Act. अब हमारे पास आता है Indian Councils Act. First is 1861, 1892 and 1909, which is also known as Morley-Minto reforms. तो 1861 का जो हमारा Indian Councils Act है, इस act ने decentralization start किया. Decentralization means now the central authority will be passed, the power or the authorities will be passed on to different levels of organization. That means representative administration. So here we have Maharaja of Patiala, we have Sir Dinkar Rao and Raja of Banaras, who were given representation in the Indian Legislative Council. Also, the new legislative councils were established in three places: Bengal, Punjab and Northwestern provinces. In Bengal, the new legislative council was established in 1862. In Northwestern provinces, in 1886, the new legislative councils were established, and in 1897, it was established in Punjab. Also, we gave the recognition to portfolio system, which was proposed by Lord Canning in 1859. After 2 years, it got recognition. The Viceroy could now issue ordinances during emergencies which were having the life of 6 months. यानी कि किसी emergency के दौरान Viceroy ordinance issue कर सकता था, जिनकी जो life span थी ordinances की वो 6 महीने तक valid रहते. Viceroy के council को भी expand कर दिया गया था. This was the reforms in 1861's Indian Councils Act. Then we got the Indian Council Act of 1892. Now in 1860 budget was introduced. So in 1892 the legislative councils were their functions were increased. What were the increment in functions? That now they could discuss the budget. And also non-official members can be nominated in the legislative councils. The central and provincial legislative councils, there also the number of additional members, that is non-official members, it was increased. Okay, so you can say the number of non-official members were increased in the Indian Council Act of 1892. And the third one was Indian Council Act of 1909, which is famously known as the Morley-Minto reforms. Now here Morley was Secretary of State for India. Lord Minto was Viceroy of India, who is also known as father of communal electorate, because he introduced the communal representation. That means Muslims were elected only by Muslim votes. This was not entertained or not liked or appreciated by Gandhiji. So over here we should know that 1909's Indian Council Act legalized communalism, and from here started the divide and rule policy of Britishers. Here the association of Indians with the Viceroy's Council increased, and we had the first Indian to be a part of Viceroy's Council, who was Satyendra Prasad Sinha, who was in charge of law and order. The size of legislative councils also increased in the Indian Councils Act, because here central और provincial जो councils legislative councils थे, provincial legislative council में non official majority हो सकती थी और central legislative council में official majority को retain किया गया था. उसके बाद हमारे पास आता है Government of India Act of 1919. Now when we talk about Government of India Act 1919, it is famously known as Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Again, Lord Chelmsford was the Viceroy and Lord Montagu was Secretary of State. Now here in August 22 years back, that is in 1917, British government declared that they want to introduce a responsible government in India. Britishers का मानना था 1917 में कि हम एक responsible government introduce करना चाहते हैं भारत में. इसलिए उन्होंने Government of India Act 1919 पास किया. Now in this act there was diarchy which was established. Diarchy में die और arc मतलब double rule. इसमें provincial subjects को दो parts में divide किया गया. The provincial subjects were divided into two parts: transferred subjects and reserved subjects. Transferred subjects were administered by governor with the help of ministers, but the governor was responsible to legislative council. However, in reserved subjects, the governor was not responsible to legislative councils. Okay? Now here bicameralism was also established in the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Bicameralism means the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, upper house, lower house. Okay. And here the central control over the provinces was relaxed. Central and provincial subjects were demarcated, they were separated, and central and provincial legislatures were authorized to make laws on their respective subjects. तो बेसिकली आप देख सकते हो कि बाइकैमरलिज्म डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन हो रहा है, बट जो गवर्नमेंट का स्ट्रक्चर था वो तो सेंट्रलाइज्ड ही था, यानी कि ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में ही सारा कंट्रोल था. ओके. Now when we talk about Government of India Act 1919, we should also know that here the Central Public Service Commission was established in 1926 for recruiting civil servants. And the franchisee, that is the right to vote, it was limited. यहाँ पर आप लिख सकते हो जो right to vote था ना वो भी limited था. That means people who are paying tax, people having certain degree of education, or people having property could only vote. And the Viceroy's Executive Council, in this council 3 out of 6 members were Indians. That means 50% were Indians in the Viceroy's Executive Council. Also, this particular act established new office for High Commissioner of India in London. here the provincial budget was separated from the central budget, so the provinces got their own budget. And it extended principle of communal representation. Earlier in Parliamentary reforms it was limited to Muslims, but here it was extended to Indian Christians, Sikhs, Anglo-Indians and Europeans also. And this act provided for appointment of a statutory commission जो कि हर 10 साल में एक बार अपॉइंट की जाएगी ताकि इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन या इंडियन अफेयर्स जैसे चल रहे हैं उसकी वर्किंग पे रिपोर्ट देगी अपनी. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया. Then we have the Simon Commission. Now the Simon Commission was announced in 1927, which was a 7-member statutory commission. Chairman was Sir John Simon, and this commission was appointed to report on the workings of India under the new constitution. The Simon Commission submitted its report in 1930, and there were 4 fundamental facts which were raised in this Simon Commission report. इस रिपोर्ट पे 4 facts को raise किया गया. First was that diarchy should be abolished. ये provincial, reserved subject, transfer subject ये सब हटाना चाहिए. Secondly, communal electorate को continue रखो. The communal electorate should be continued. And third was responsible government को हमको provinces में establish करना है. So responsible government was has to be established in provinces, communal electorate has to be continued and diarchy has to be abolished, and India में और princely states में British Federation को establish करना है. This was the report of the Simon Commission. Then we have the Communal Award. Communal Award was announced in 1932 by Ramsay MacDonald, who was the Britain's Prime Minister at that time. Now, Communal Award was a scheme of representation of minorities like scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. So it continued the separate electorates for Muslims, Sikhs, Anglo-Indians, Europeans, Christians, but it also extended that electorate for depressed classes like the scheduled caste. But the Indian leaders were not happy with this type of division. Right? That is why Pune Pact was signed, wherein it was now finally decided that for the depressed classes, seats will be reserved and the electorate will be for Hindus. That is, only Hindu joint electorate will be there. All these categories will be clubbed together into one joint electorate and seats will be reserved for the depressed classes. Then we have the Government of India Act of 1935. Now this is a very important act because this act established RBI, Reserve Bank of India, for managing the currencies, and all India federations were established. It was proposed that all India federations will be established in the provinces and princely states. That means provinces and princely states will be termed as one single unit, but that never came into being. And the power between center and the units, that is the princely states, they were divided. So we had the federal. तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो कि सेंटर और यूनिट्स के बीच में लिस्ट बना दी गई, फेडरल लिस्ट, प्रोविंशियल लिस्ट एंड कंकरेंट लिस्ट. फेडरल लिस्ट वाज विद द सेंटर, देन वी हैड द प्रोविंशियल लिस्ट विद द प्रोविंसेस एंड द कंकरेंट लिस्ट, that is it had 36 items and it was with the center also and with the provinces also. Now this particular act established federal court in 1937 and extended the voting rights, that is the franchising. So now 10% of the population was having the voting rights, and this act abolished Council of India, which was established by Government of India Act 1858. Okay, तो यहाँ पर फेडरल पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन को स्टैब्लिश किया गया, प्रोविंशियल पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन को स्टैब्लिश किया गया, यहाँ तक कि जॉइंट पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन को भी स्टैब्लिश किया गया. डायरकी को सिर्फ सेंटर तक रखा गया, प्रोविंसेस में प्रोविंशियल ऑटोनॉमी दे दी गई और रेजिडरी पावर्स जो थी बची कुची पावर्स वो वाइसरॉय को दी गई. Bicameralism was introduced in 6 out of 11 provinces like Bengal, Bombay, Madras. Then we have Bihar, Assam and United Provinces. Okay, so this was the features of Government of India Act 1935, after which Indian Independence Act 1947 was passed and we finally got our independence. तो ये थी आपकी आज की क्लास. I hope ये रिवीजन अच्छा लगा हो आपको. We are revising the entire book. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying these lectures. If you have any feedback regarding these lectures, let me know in the comment section. Okay, class PDF will be uploaded very soon on the Telegram channel. By tomorrow you will be getting the entire class PDF of chapter 1. Okay, on this note we are wrapping up this class. Also do not forget to subscribe to Unacademy Plus and you can get now 10% discount on your subscription. यहाँ पर आपका मेगा subscription offer भी है. So do not miss this chance. It's a wonderful opportunity for all of you to ease yours and simplify your UPSC CSE journey. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.